In a world where sports have stretched beyond the fabric of reality and podcasts became as common as potholes, there were two guys in Morgantown, West Virginia who desired to do something different. These two guys came up with an idea to bring real life back to the arena of sports and hopefully be somewhat entertaining along the way. These two guys are certainly no experts, and they're definitely not comedians. They just think they are. This is the Extra Medium Podcast, and here are those two guys.
And here we go. Welcome, everyone, to episode 10 of the Extra Medium Sports Podcast. How did we come up with the name? Well, it's because we are simply two plus-size guys living in an extra medium world. We have a loaded show today because we have made it to
the Mohawk Bowl, baby. I hit the table again. I shouldn't have done that. I'm hyped. I'm excited. How could you not be?
That's right. We have made it to the annual Morgantown High University High rivalry game, and we are going to just kind of skip through this here a little bit. Hello and welcome, everyone. I am Justin Jackson, sports editor of the Dominion Post.
And I'm Matt Amory, former WVU lineman and state champion at Morgantown High.
And as I said, we have a loaded show today. It is Mohawk Bowl week. We have made it to episode 10. I didn't think when we first started this, I thought we would be fired by week 4.
They haven't canceled us yet, yes. Man. We made it to 10. We're in the double digits. Double digits season. Yes. Okay. We might have something here.
We have a loaded show today with the Mohawk Bowl week coming up. So loaded that we probably should have a bottle of Jack Daniels.
A bottle of Jack Daniels and a 6-pack of Zima.
There you go. That's how loaded our show is today. We are going to be focusing the episode today on high school football because it is such a huge week, not only with the Mohawk Bowl matchup between what will be number 2 Morgantown High against number 4 University High, but we also saw last week Clay Battelle took a major jump up in the Class A rankings following an amazing 16-14 come-from-behind victory over then number 3 Sherman. That game was last Saturday. We will get into that game as well as preview another huge matchup for the Seabees. They have on Friday night against Class AA number 13 Oak Glen. In studio today, we have Michael Griffith of the Dominion Post.
The legend!
We are going to be talking about the seemingly 100 different playoff scenarios that face our local teams heading into the final weeks of the season, and then the amazing game he saw last Saturday involving Clay Battelle and Sherman. Here in just a bit, we will have on the line, not in the studio, but on the phone, we will have former Morgantown High head football coach and the school's current athletic director, John Bowers, joining us on the show today. And following that, we will have former University High All-State defensive lineman Andy Emery, who also went on to play his college ball at West Virginia.
Hey, this is exciting. We got 2 new friends of the show, it looks like, here, too.
We need all the friends we can get. Right, yeah. So we will have all of that, and we are also finally removing the restrictions from my partner in crime over here. Matt's been dying to talk about the Mohawk Bowl for about 8 weeks now.
My gosh, it's about dang time.
Today,
man.
Matt is allowed to say whatever he wants about the Mohawk Bowl, can tell whatever story about the Mohawk Bowl he wants to. Matt is basically taking over the show today. The only thing
What about F-bombs,
no,
man?
the only thing
come on, man.
The only restriction we have on Matt today is he is not allowed to drop any F-bombs.
Okay, well, I guess that's fair then.
Before we get into all of that, we have to take care of some technical stuff. Matt, who is our sponsor?
I'm glad you asked. The Extra Medium Podcast is proudly sponsored by the Erickson Alumni Center. Whether you're interested in hosting a corporate retreat, a baby shower, or a beautiful wedding reception, we take pride in making every experience a memorable one.
And Matt, just to get all the technicals out of the way, tell the good people where they can find the Extra Medium Sports Podcast.
You can always find a link to the Extra Medium Podcast at www.dominionpost.com or find us on social media at Spotify and YouTube.
And we are now joined by Michael Griffith of the Dominion Post. And I would quickly like to begin with a current historical aspect here, if I might, for a second.
Okay, we'll go a little history.
Yeah. Because where we are currently at now in the playoff rankings, we in Class Quad A, we have Morgantown High at number 2. We have University High at number 4 in Quad A. In Class A, Clay Battelle has jumped up to number 3. And why I kind of bring this up to start off the show is I've been covering high school football for a long, long time. Going back to when Matt was probably in middle school still.
That's when we could fold our helmets up and put them in our pocket. That's been that long ago.
That was the leather.
The good old leather helmets, man.
I can remember many, many, many years where all three of the high schools in Mon County have been good. There've certainly been some years where they've all made the state playoffs at the same time. There's been years where they've all won at least a playoff game at the same time. What I cannot remember is where we are currently at, where all three schools at the same time are ranked in the top 4 of the state in their respective classes, and it might be the first time ever. I mean, I certainly can't go back to the 30s and 40s and 50s, so to speak, but I think just within the last 30 years, this is probably the first time this has ever happened. So it is currently a pretty historical moment for the three schools.
I mean, it's making this fall weather, this cold weather. You see the trees turning out there just a little bit nicer, but it makes the cold weather a little bit easier to deal with because the heat is turning up.
So we begin our segment here by posing this simple question to Michael. Michael, can all three schools stay there?
Yeah, that is a pretty simple question at this point because, man, we're down to the last 2 weeks of the season. I think University's playing their last game on Friday. They'll have a bye week the last week, but yeah, man. I mean, everything's in front of these teams, and I think that we'll see a busy time come the first round of the playoffs in Mon County.
It's fun, right?
It's fun,
it's awesome.
And these are contenders. I'm going to go off script for a second.
Hey, it's your show today, buddy.
So I'm at Kroger and I see some people wearing CB shirts. And I said, congratulations on your win. I said, I also did a little name dropping. I said, do you know Michael Griffith? They said, we know Michael Griffith.
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm being honest. I don't know the last time they could have been that excited. And we also had the conversation that we had on the show where they're kind of in new territory since I don't know how long, but each game is just a huge game for them. So, hey, they know about you. The legend's getting out there, man.
Man, they're good people out there. And the energy out there the other day was just so incredible. I mean, yeah, it didn't matter who you were rooting for. You could feel it, media, coaches, fans, grandmas, grandpas, whoever you were, man. It was just electric.
Even Meemaw and Peepaw getting hype out there, baby.
It was electric.
I will ask, were these people from Claybtown, were they friends of the show?
Well, they are now. I dropped a plug. I said, I don't know if you know, this Michael Griffith got a podcast.
Hey,
check it out, Extra Medium.
You guys are the ones.
They are unofficially friends of the show. I think that, and this might I add, we're standing in like a 10-mile line. I don't know why we're doing those self-checkouts, so it's not one particularly the happiest time in anyone's life. You mentioned the name Michael Griffith. Smiles pop on their face.
He's the legend.
He's the legend for a reason. He's a legend for a reason. But we are making friends with the show.
We will get into the Claybtown matchup. Like I said, they have a huge, huge game on Friday night. They play. They move up. Well, they're not moving up a class, but their opponent is moving up a class. Class AA, ranked number 13, Oak Glen. We will get into that game here for just a little bit. But let's begin some initial Mohawk Bowl talk.
I love it. Let's get the juices flowing, baby.
Matt, get it going. That's it's number 2 versus number 4, and Michael, we can kind of begin maybe here with some preliminary playoff discussions. If the math I've done is correct, if Morgantown High wins the Mohawk Bowl, they move up to number 1. Is that how you see it?
Yeah, that's what it's looking like. Huntington obviously lost to another out-of-state team last week.
Tennessee.
Yep.
Yeah. They're 0-2 against Tennessee.
I mean, well, these teams that are playing might be able to beat the Tennessee Titans, so let's just preface that.
I would quit scheduling teams from Tennessee.
I think that might be a good idea.
Yeah.
Like, we'll save that for another show.
But you're 0-2 against Tennessee. You're undefeated against the West Virginia. But anyway, so Morgantown, really good chance to secure that number 1 seed, and they'll have another winnable game next week against Musselman. So if they can get past University, should be able to secure the number 1 seed. University, they're sitting at number 4, but even with a loss, they would probably only drop to number 5 based on our math and our projections.
I'm going to get into a conspiracy theory.
We'll have a little.
Okay,
we'll have
I like
to talk
this.
about that. So
keep going,
But
Michael.
no, you're right. So and then that could make for another Mohawk Bowl in
Yes.
the semifinals. So that would be another electric matchup. But then that kind of goes into what we were talking about last week about how that would work out with maybe Martinsburg and Huntington being 2 and 3.
Yeah.
They would play each other in the semifinals, and then whoever were to be able to make the state championship would be able to not have to see one of those teams. So
bracketology implications. That's a
Well,
lot of syllables for me.
Along those lines, if we were to kind of flip the script for a second, by my math and projections here, this is simply conjecture at this point. We don't know who's going to beat everyone around the state and that sort of thing for bonus points. But I believe if University High were to win the Mohawk Bowl, I don't think they would jump up. I think they would stay at number 4. Now, we're talking they would certainly close the gap on Martinsburg, and it might come down to 1 or 2 bonus points. I don't think they can catch Martinsburg. Even if they were to go out and beat Morgantown High 80-0 on Friday, I don't think they can move up to number 3.
Let's not even put that in the world. Let's not even put that out there. And for our listeners, again, this bracketology has implications for home field advantage, especially deep in our playoffs.
yeah.
University High, as Michael said, could fall to number 5 with a loss. I don't think they can jump up with a win, so they're kind of locked into that 4-5 position. Obviously, Wheeling Park might have something to say about that as well. But, Matt, let's go ahead. Let's get you started here. When I say Mohawk Bowl, what's it mean to you? You played right when the game was at Mountaineer Field.
Yes.
And I know that was an exciting time. When I say Mohawk Bowl, what comes to mind for you?
A lot of pride, and this is more than just one game. So I can say there's a lot of pride, especially for that game, but you're playing against people you grew up with. You've played them. For example, my year, University, their 3 main contributors were Adam Cantoni, Scott Jerko, and Josh Stewart. Well, I played against those guys growing up in basketball, football, when I made the weight limit, that is. And you know everything about these guys. You know how they compete. And this is the game where all eyes are on you. And that first game at Mountaineer Field, when the Mohawk Bowl was at Mountaineer Field, I don't know if you remember that. That's hard to...
No, I remember, absolutely.
So the bottom
bowl was completely
filled.
And of course, they didn't have the suites.
They didn't have the suites.
So it was all bleacher seats around the lower bowl of the stadium back in those days. And people were still filing in at halftime. I mean, second quarter, people were still filing in. And by the end of the game, the lower bowl was probably 90%, 95% filled.
Wow. This was one of the first times where you could not hear the other person talking to you, and I got to experience that. And I mean, I wouldn't want it any other way. Yeah. Like, the ground would shake. And one of my most fond, I don't even know what fond means, so I don't know if that's the right word. One of the moments that are stained in my mind was actually from the loss at the stadium.
Right.
And I remember I thought I had the quarterback. This would have been my junior year, dead to rights. But something had happened in the secondary or with the linebackers, I don't know. But they hit someone deep, and you could hear that scream of those UHS fans. And, I mean, there was just nothing you could really do at that point.
Who was the University High quarterback? Was that Christian? Was that Vineyard?
I think it was, yeah.
How about that as a blast? There you go.
Man.
That's how good my memory is.
Wasn't he a backup at the time? Christian Vineyard,
no,
yeah.
The story on Christian Vineyard was he didn't really grow up playing football and kind of got into high school and started playing football and was kind of being worked as a receiver. Well, University High, obviously, the year before had lost all-state quarterback Cody Phillips. He graduated, moved on to college. So that following year, that particular year you're talking about, it was basically kind of like open tryouts for quarterback.
Got you.
And as the story goes, is he just kind of tried out as quarterback and it worked. And so he was like a 1 year, had never played quarterback before and turned into a heck of a high school quarterback back in the day.
So I have one story. This is top secret information. I haven't told anybody about this, but this was my senior year in the Mohawk Bowl, and we got to the game and we were ready to play. We were getting our gear on, and it was awesome because we were in the home field, the home locker room, and these are your Mountaineers. I wasn't committed yet, but I was going to commit to the Mountaineers, and guess what I forgot? My shoes. I forgot my shoes.
You played in your bare feet, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if anybody remembers James Dirty Davis, number 1 for WVU.
Oh yeah, linebacker. Yeah.
But I used his cleats that day. He had rain turf cleats. I used them. They were amazing. I told him about that too. Actually, he was like, "You did what?" But that was good times, man. There's so many stories that revolve around this, and so many good times with the guys. Almost bring a tear to my eye, man. Almost bring a tear to my eye.
As a high school kid, what was it like sitting in that WVU locker room getting ready for the Mohawk Bowl?
As a high school kid sitting in that WVU locker room, it was kind of like, for me, there was a personal battle and then there's the team battle. From the team perspective, it was almost we're here to handle business. Let's not see this is too gaudy. I mean, let's be honest. The Morgantown High locker room doesn't look like it does now. Back in those days, there was a stench in that locker room. It smelled like football, but I can still smell it to this day. When we went to that locker room, I'll tell you what, it was business, and I don't think you could hear a pin drop. You almost wanted to have that Phil Collins, I can feel it in the air, but we were taking it in, but we knew what we were there for because that loss the year before was huge. And this is come Jerko.
The following year was just as dynamic. It was a 14-7 game. It was 7-7 at halftime, and that the second year at Mountaineer Field could have gone either way.
And one thing I do remember about that game, Scotty Jerko was coming off an injury,
horrible
injury.
He had some pins put in his ankle. I believe.
Pins put in his ankle, I believe, the first or second week of the season, and he's playing against us. And I'm like,
oh, he limped through that.
Limped through that game, but he was still faster than me.
Right,
he still had to go. So shout out to Scotty, shout out to Adam and Josh. Love those guys. But I mean, it was just a fuel game, and man, did I love to talk trash when Coach McNew couldn't see me.
We are going to have Coach Bowers on here very shortly, but before we get to that, I want to get to my conspiracy theory.
Yeah, let's hear the conspiracy, bro.
All right, because like we said earlier, University High is pretty much. Win or lose, they're locked in to number 4 or number 5. Michael, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so for those who follow tournament seeding, the 4-5 matchup is pretty much a toss-up, right? Yes. And there's really not much difference between being a 4 or being a 5, other than if you're a 4, you're at home. If you're at 5, you go on the road.
Right.
Of course, you could have upsets in the first round of the playoffs. But we are projecting at this moment that basically University High and George Washington are locked in that 4-5. One's going to be the 4, one's going to be the 5, but they're going to see each other in the second round regardless of who wins or loses on Friday. So here's my thinking.
Let's hear this.
If I'm University High, I'm thinking playing GW in the second round is a good matchup, a favorable matchup. Whether University High would be at home or on the road, I think they would be a slight favorite against GW in any fashion.
Okay.
Yeah. The only difference is you're either wearing the red uniforms or the white uniforms, right?
Gotcha.
So if I'm thinking I can maybe get a win against GW. If I'm Coach Eric Snyder, and I'm thinking, okay, we can match up with GW and possibly beat them in the second round, get us to the semifinals. Who do I want to play in the semifinals?
Yeah.
Okay? Now, here's my theory. If Morgantown High wins, they go to 1. Huntington falls to 2. Martinsburg's at 3. That puts University High and Morgantown High on the same side of the bracket. It puts Martinsburg and Huntington on the other side of the bracket.
Yep.
It would put University High against Morgantown High in the semifinals. If I'm Eric Snyder, I like that matchup a heck of a lot more than playing Martinsburg
At
or Huntington. So here's my theory. University High, Friday night, Mohawk Bowl. They start the JV team. They start the freshman team, right?
No,
Yes.
no. We are not doing this,
they
Justin.
are-
Don't put this out there.
University High is tanking the Mohawk Bowl
No,
to ensure that
that-
Morgantown High
abs-
gets that number 1 seed for the favorable playoff matchup.
absolutely not. I'm yelling so loud, I'm messing up the sound. No, we are not
don't
going.
like that? You
I
don't
don't
like
like that idea
Okay.
whatsoever. I want the chance, if I'm a Mohegan, to beat them twice, and I want to beat them at their best.
Because
Forget all that math and bracketology stuff.
Because if University High wins the Mohawk Bowl, Morgantown probably falls to 3. They might be able to climb back. I think they would be able to climb back up to 2. But then obviously it puts Martinsburg and Huntington on opposite ends of the bracket. So now there's the possibility that Monongalia County gets shut out from the state championship game.
I love what you're saying,
Oh, I do too. That's why I brought it up.
but I also hate it because that's not happening.
know.
No, Legend.
Michael, come
You
on.
hear what he's saying
I mean,
over here?
it's a fair take.
It's
but,
fair.
But like you said, I mean, it's kind of like WVU and Pitt, man. You can go 0-11, but if you're
thank
1-11, and if that one is against your rival, like
And
that's going to be a successful season. But
what a great time. This is going to be a strange analogy, but do you remember way back when in the NFL, I think it was the Giants versus Patriots. The Giants, this was in the regular season. They ended up losing, but
they lost by like a touchdown or
yeah,
something.
but they had one heck of a game and started really playing their best football toward the end of the season.
And then they meet up in the Super Bowl a few weeks later.
undefeated Patriots,
in the history, and Giants win the Super Bowl. So this is still a chance for another University High player, another Morgantown High player to make a name for themselves and possibly show up deep in the playoffs, because at this time, you don't ask who's hurt, who's injured. Everybody is hurting or injured. You see those linemen walking around with bruises all up and down their arms.
Well, all the more reason to send your JV team out there on Friday.
Here we go.
Send your freshman team out there, get an extra bye week, right?
Well, you send the JV team out there, we're putting triple digits on it.
I'm telling you, Eric Snyder, go ahead and tank the Mohawk Bowl. I'm giving you permission. I think it would be a fantastic story.
Coach Snyder, don't listen to that, man. Don't listen to that, bro.
And with that, we are now to our first guest of the Mohawk Bowl edition of the Extra Medium Sportscast. We bring in Morgantown High Athletic Director and former two-time state champion coach of the Mohegans, Coach Bowers. Coach John Bowers, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well, guys. How are you?
Doing awesome,
Matt's
Coach.
doing great. Matt's doing great.
I'm so excited, Coach. It's an honor to have you here. Honor to have you here on Mohawk.
Appreciate that so much, Matt.
And Coach, in the Mohawk Bowl streets. Hey, let's just get this thing started, Coach. Let me ask you this. With this rivalry, what do you see any difference, or what does it mean to you from the athletic director perspective versus a coaching perspective?
Well, people ask me that all the time, and I really like being the visitor, believe it or not, because a lot of that is just showing up. All the heavy lifting is on Mr. Bailey's side, and then you're just a fan. But, as long as your operation goes smoothly, you have your ticket takers, your concessions, your referees, you just have a different focus as a game organizer and a game manager. Obviously, you still want to win. You're not quite as emotionally invested as you once were as a coach, but you're still pulling like crazy for your team. I know that.
Well, hey, with the week off before the big game. Now, the legend Michael Griffith here, we were talking about that might be excellent scheduling, but then the more they got to thinking about it, it's kind of like, from a player, for me, I love to overthink. And it could be,
God, really?
who me? No.
Yeah.
But Coach, was that done on purpose? Like, was that just awesome scheduling, that getting that week off before the game, maybe getting some?
Honestly, a lot's been said that we are exploring, an alliance with the EPAC. So trying to get all those schools on the schedule within the next couple years and melding the schedule of the contracts that we've had existing. It just kind of worked out that way. I was visiting with the athletic trainers yesterday at practice, and they said it hit at the right time, right? Like, after eight games, you got bumps and bruises and banged up. Yeah. And according to the athletic trainers, this is as healthy as we've been in a long time, and it may have hit the right time in that regard.
Yeah, Coach, I just really want to touch on the game itself and just the magnitude of it. I mean, this rivalry in the past decade really has been here and there, back and forth. A lot of blowouts in each game for both teams, really. I mean, can you really remember when you were a coach? There was a lot of big games, Mountaineer Field, both teams, competing hard. But what is the magnitude of this game? What is it like around the school every day this week? I know it's only Tuesday, but even last week, I know with the bye week, you guys were probably thinking about this game a little bit. What's the feel like? And just when you have these two teams in the top 5, just what does that mean for the community when it comes to this game?
It's a celebration of great football for Mon County. It's fantastic. There is chatter. There's been chatter the first couple of days of the school week already, and that really hasn't been the case for a lot of the games. Actually, Coach King, our defensive coordinator, and Coach Tallman, our basketball coach, we were talking this morning. People get really, really hyped around the community about this MHS, UHS thing, whether it's basketball, baseball, and especially football, the Mohawk Bowl. It really does, increase the chatter at work and whatever side of the fence you're on. It makes for a fun work week. It usually coincides with Halloween, so there's always that kind of energy. It's just it's a really, really, really fun week. And it really it's what high school football should be: rivalries and excitement for the kids, the bands, the cheerleaders. Everybody gets involved, and it's what it should be.
Coach B, I have a question I've been dying to ask you for about 20-some years now.
Okay.
I had to get a podcast first before I could.
You go.
Yeah, why not, right?
I had to get a podcast before I could ask you this question. It's very much a hypothetical question, very hypothetical. But if the football gods somehow deemed John Bowers the czar of West Virginia high school football, and you could determine the fate of every high school football team each and every Friday night, would you have University High go 9-1 every year, with the one loss being the Mohawk Bowl, or would you just say the heck with it and make the Hawks go 0-10 every year?
All right, now this is that's a very loaded question.
I know. Hey, I've been holding on to it for 20 years. I've been holding on to it for 20 years.
The answer is easy. So I live in Westover. I'm entrenched in that community. I love that community. Some of the people I work with here at MHS, their kiddos go to MHS or go to UHS rather. Go to church in Westover. A lot of those folks are UHS people. I root for UHS to go 9-1 every single year.
Very good.
Yeah,
very good.
Love it.
Well, partially because of the community and the relationships that I have with people over there. Selfishly, it's also a pretty good playoff point haul.
Yeah,
if you can
sure.
get it
Oh, yeah.
when they're 9-1. So, no, I always want them to do well, except one game a year.
Right. Well, I mean, but going 9-1, that means you got to root for them 9 weeks, though.
Well, yeah, I guess.
I mean,
yeah. See, everyone always says, that I'm not from here. So I really root against Wheeling Park a lot.
Okay.
That was my natural rival growing up. Even though they got great people there too, but I always want U-High to do well, except when they play us.
Coach, I think to me one of the greatest aspects of the rivalry, and I know there's obviously lots of great rivalries around the state. Some of them are in similar situations, like, if you look at a Parkersburg South, they're in the same city. Martinsburg, Spring Mills is obviously a big rivalry. To me, though, the Morgantown High, University High rivalry, Matt kind of touched on this earlier, is that the kids who participate in the games grow up together. And the rivalry is more of a sense of closeness, more so than a sense of hatred. Like, you can't cross into my side of town, and I can't go on this side of the bridge. And it might be kind of like that in some areas of the state, but it certainly isn't like that with the Mohawk Bowl. I think that's what kind of makes it a unique rivalry. Would you agree?
100%. These kids grow up playing youth sports together and against each other. I was joking at our homecoming dance. There were as many University High students at our dance, and I guess a high percentage of our kiddos went to their dance. So, yes, they are, there's boyfriends and girlfriends and best friends on each side of the rivalry. And, the baseball kids play together in the summer.
Oh, yeah.
So there is. We're one community. But on this day, on this particular game, we are MHS versus UHS, but the rest of the time we're a cohesive community.
Coach, I'm gonna throw a curveball at you. I'm gonna put you on the spot here. So, let's just say you could pick a celebrity to lead out each team. What celebrity would you pick to lead out Morgantown High, and what celebrity would you pick to lead out University High?
You mean to run out onto the field?
Yeah, to run out on the field. To run out on the field, kind of get them hype.
Well, Gladiator's one of my top 5 favorite movies, so I think let's get Maximus.
Let's go.
Yeah, and I don't know who I would want for University High. Obviously won a good game, so I don't want to give them somebody as good as Maximus. But,
no, you give him Big Bird from Sesame Street.
Oh, well,
no?
How about Mr. Snuffleupagus?
Snuffleupagus, yeah, Snuffleupagus.
Hey, Bird.
Hey, Bird.
Yeah, that can be. But we'll have Maximus. He'll
I love that.
Coach, a little bit later on in the show, we are going to have Andy Emery on the show from the University High side. You obviously coached against Andy a number of times. What were your What are your memories of trying to scout and block him?
Fantastic player. University High, John Kelly back in the day, and even just now I was talking with Adam and Sean Beiser. U-High's kids play so hard, and he typified that. He really, really played hard. Went on to have a great career with the Mountaineers, and they just they're always very formidable, and he was certainly as formidable a defender as the Jerkos and as some of those guys, the Megros. He's right in there.
And then obviously you coached my buddy Matt here. Now give me the scouting report on Matt back in the day. You had to hide him, right? I mean, you kind of put him on the.
I remember him getting a big sack right there on the logo at Mountaineer Field and doing a Hulk Hogan pose Now, remember, that was back when the Mohawk Bowl was a novelty at Morgantown, or at WVU, rather.
Right.
And we would draw 15 to 18 to 20,000. So that was quite a spectacle. And he got that double bicep flex on the logo there.
Hey, Coach,
he was tough.
If I flex now, it goes the opposite direction. It's kind of like Bugs Bunny. I flex. I don't know what happened. I never thought that would happen to me.
Matt, age is undefeated, brother.
Hey, Coach, I'll send you your check in the mail for giving me those props.
Coach, we're just real quick, man. Before we let you go and before we get to some other things, just does any certain memories that just stick out as an AD or as a coach? Really, I mean, you've been involved with this game for so long. Are there any memories that just stick out that you can just maybe tell us about or anything?
Honestly, the past couple of years here in recent memory, watching my son throw touchdown passes in a couple of the Mohawk Bowls was pretty darn good. It was awesome. The first Mohawk Bowl, even though we came up on the short end of the stick at Mountaineer Field, that was certainly very special. Spencer Farley taking a quick pitch down the sideline, and Charlie Russell hitting
Yeah.
Tyler Kirk down that same sideline was kind of cool. So it's just a culmination of a lot of great football, a lot of great people, a lot of great players. But probably the best was watching Maddox do his thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's awesome.
Coach, we really appreciate the time. Thank you so much for joining us today and sharing some stories.
Thanks for having me, guys. You guys do a great job.
I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Coach. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. Yes, sir.
Now it is time to get some technical stuff out of the way. Just to get them out of the way, Matt, hit him up with a sponsor plug.
Hey, a big shout out to our sponsor, the Erickson Alumni Center. Provide your guests with an elegant experience utilizing our state-of-the-art conference technology and catering from our in-house executive chef.
Okay, before we get to the University High side of the Mohawk Bowl,
Mohawk Bowl!
we have our guest, Andy Emery, coming up here in just a few minutes. But, Michael,
Yes, sir.
quite possibly saw the game of the year last Saturday. We're going to kind of break up the Mohawk Bowl coverage here with some Clay Battelle coverage. Last Saturday, then number 6, Clay Battelle, came from behind in the final minute of the game.
Oh, I
Matt.
love this. I love this. It's a pink out, too, right?
They were down.
Saturday
Think
pink
so.
out.
Yeah, they had some pink on.
They were
Okay.
down 14-6. Less than a minute, right? Less
Yeah.
than a minute to go in the game.
Yeah.
Clay Battelle comes back to win that game, 16-14. Michael, how did that game go down?
Yeah, so it's 8-0 at halftime. Clay Battelle scored early, and then it was just defensive slugfest. Both teams just a lot of turnovers. 8-0 at halftime. Sherman comes back out, got a touchdown in the third quarter. They missed the 2-point conversion, so 8-6 at that point. The Clay Battelle offense was just pretty stagnant. Like I said, a lot of turnovers. They had 5 themselves, and I think maybe 4 of them came in the second half. Sherman had the ball late in the fourth quarter. We talked about the last team having the ball, possibly winning the game. About 90 seconds to go. They punched one in within 2 yards, I think. Did get the 2-point conversion then, so they go up 14-8. Clay Battelle just needs a touchdown to tie. They're on the 25-yard line with about a minute to go, like Justin said. First play, Corey Cohen drops back to pass, throws the ball to the sideline. Looks like it's just a little quick hitter to try to get out of bounds, stop the clock. Cody Clovis catches the ball, turns around. His defender misses a tackle, and he has nothing but green in front of him. His 4.5 40 speed takes off. He finds the pay dirt, and then they punch it in for 2 in the next play.
Hey, a little bit of yak, those yards after catch, man. We
he
love
did it
us some
twice in
yak
the
here on
game.
the
We'll
show.
talk about that in a second. Then to end the game, Sherman's quarterback drops back. He gets hit while he's trying to throw, and Cameron Mercer, defensive lineman for Clay Battelle, comes up with an interception. Game over on the kneel down the next play.
A quick question. So the final drive for Clay Battelle, the ball got kicked into the end zone, or did they run it to the 25? How did they get?
No, it was just the kickoff. It was just the kickoff return.
Return.
And LePeau actually told me after the game that they had a special kickoff return like ready that they have in their playbook, but right before the kick, he heard the Sherman coaches yelling about it.
Okay.
So they knew.
Well, they knew.
They
Well,
knew
they're
the
scouting
good
each
scouting,
other
right?
here,
They knew
boys.
that Clay Battelle had that in their back pocket. So he said we
What?
just went with the regular return and ended up going to the 25. So
Okay, so now do they have any timeouts left at that point?
I don't believe they did.
Okay, so it's 75. It's first and 75. then.
Basically,
Yeah.
yeah. But like I said, about 60 seconds on the clock. So
Now the other question I have: so they get this amazing touchdown pass
yeah,
that makes it 14-14. They go for 2.
Yep.
They have a kicker.
yeah, they do.
Isn't it safer to just try the extra point? I mean, going for 2 at that point. Sherman's defense pretty good.
That's fair. But I heard the radio guy for WAJR say never trust a high school kicker. But I don't know how true that is. But no, I don't know what it was. But I think one factor was that Sherman has maybe the best kicker in Class A. And honestly, when they had the ball last down by 2, I mean, you thought they could just go down. I mean, their kicker can make a 40-yarder.
Yeah.
And you don't see that ever in Class Single A, hardly.
That's a leg
All
of
right,
trouble.
So-
well, that brings up another question then. So when Sherman scored its first touchdown in the second half, they went for 2.
They did. Because Clay Battelle had already been up.
Okay.
So I think they were trying to keep pace.
I see.
Obviously.
Okay. All right. So
especially in a defensive slugfest like
Yeah, I was
that.
going to say,
You
it
know.
sounds like a suck.
Yeah.
Now, did I hear it wrong? Clay Battelle had 5 turnovers?
Yes, and they all came from Cohen himself, actually. And he had 3 interceptions and 2 fumbles that were all turnovers, and they still won the game. So.
And they still won the game. And
Yeah.
you know, the way Coach LePeau is coaching those guys, man, that sounds like a huge negative, but you can still coach those guys up
Yeah.
and say, hey, man, this is how you gave the ball up here, whether it was Carroll, whatever.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
can still coach the guys even more.
he said that before they went back out to score the touchdown, he looked at Corey Cohen, and Corey just gave him a nod, like, let's go win this game. So.
5 turnovers and still win the game.
That's unbelievable.
You ever heard of that before?
No, I have not. I have
Okay.
not. You know, typically, now, do we know how many turnovers Sherman had?
I think it was 3.
3. So
Yeah.
if you want to see the winning score without looking at the score from the stats column, I typically say the turnovers hold the most weight, will be the stronger. The team with the most turnovers is going to lose, and that is not the case. So how about that fight with the Seabees? It's CB season. Everyone's hype. I'm hype. Michael Griffith's hype. Justin's hype. And the people in Kroger.
I was going to say the people in Kroger.
The people in Kroger.
The people in Kroger. I want to redeem myself if I can.
Okay, no, yeah, redemption. Redemption is sweet.
The previous week, for the people who follow the podcast, I had predicted, they'll remember, I predicted Clay Battelle was going to woodshed.
Yes,
Sherman.
yes.
16-14 obviously is not a woodshed. But, Michael, you were at the game. You were there. You saw every play.
Yeah.
And I know you can't magically wipe away 5 turnovers. One of the turnovers came at the 3-yard line.
Yes,
I mean, they're
exactly.
getting ready to punch it in, and they fumble the ball away.
Yep.
I don't know how the other 4 were, but obviously, 5 turnovers is you can't can't magically erase 5 turnovers. If you could, is that a woodshed game? Was Clay Battelle the better team?
Yeah, I think they were absolutely the better team. Sherman's best player was held to 47 yards of total offense. So, I mean, if the turnovers are wiped away, like you said, they turned the ball over on the 3-yard line. I think that was when they were still up 8-0. So then you go up by 2 scores, and
Could be a different game there. Yeah,
absolutely. And I mean, think about how many Sherman would have had 4-3 less offensive possessions at that point, so it would have absolutely made a difference.
Wait, do we give this legend? Do we give this to Justin though? And does that mean his hot take is right? Do we let him slide and be lenient?
You got to.
Okay, hey, this time we'll do it, man. This time we'll do it. But a wonderful question you pose. But that just makes it much more interesting to hear they had 5 turnovers to still pull out the win against a tough Sherman team. Hey, those Sherman
Tide. That's the nickname.
Is that what it is? The Tide?
The Tide.
I thought you were saying I needed to wash my clothes.
No. That's the Sherman nickname. They're the Tide.
Okay, they're just the Tide, not like the Rolling Tide.
No, just the
okay.
Tide.
Just the Tide. Yeah, I mean, what a game! And now we have.
Was it the game of the year, Michael?
It might be the game of the decade so far. Honestly, I mean, it was just like I said, just the energy was palpable, man. I mean,
how packed?
The stadium was full. I got there 11:45. I got a nice little spot, right there in my parking lot. But it was packed. And shout out to the Sherman fans.
You say Sherman traveled
well,
man.
And
shout out to the
3
Sherman
hour,
fans.
maybe more trip, especially on a WVU game day. A little bit of traffic on the interstate, I'm sure. So definitely, I heard some Sherman fans saying they stayed in Fairmont the night before, even, which was a good idea, probably. So yeah, shout out to them. Just what a game, man. I mean, just Saturday 1:00, perfect weather. It felt like a playoff game, honestly. It felt like we were a few weeks ahead already, and there was a Saturday afternoon playoff game in Single A, and these two teams very well could meet again in the playoffs.
And I was so excited for today. I looked on the internet to see it was 8-0. Then later get a text. It's nothing but the legend himself saying, "I can't wait to tell you how this game went up," and did not disappoint.
No, it was incredible.
With that win, Clay Battelle jumped up from number 6 to number 3 in the Class A playoffs. They are actually tied for number 3 with Tug Valley. Both of them, we are projecting them to be 8.875 in the playoff rankings. That is still a couple points behind number 2, Wahama, and a couple and a half points, I guess, behind number 1, Wheeling Central. Michael, let's get into this real quick. Clay Battelle, by our projections, obviously they have a huge game coming up on Friday with Class AA, number 13, Oak Glen. Beating a AA school, as we talked about a couple weeks ago, you get more points for beating a AA school, plus the bonus points. What essentially could happen for Clay Battelle, though, if they win, and I tell you, this this is going to be a tough one.
Do we have a take for? Do we have a take? Or we're not going. We're not. Okay, we're not touching it.
I'm not predicting a woodshed. I'm not touching this game. I'm
Okay.
definitely not predicting a woodshed because I think this is going to be a really, really tough game for Clay Patel. If they somehow win it, we are thinking they stay at number 3. They can't move up, right?
Yeah.
They can move down with a loss, though, right?
Yeah, because they're, like you said, they are tied for number 3. So if they do lose, who are they tied with?
They are tied with Tug Valley.
Yeah, so Tug Valley's playing. I mean, they're playing really well. Maybe some of the best ball in Single A, honestly. So, but yeah, Wahama and Wheeling Central are just a little too far as their rating goes for the math, all that stuff for Clay Battelle to catch because they do play a Magnolia team in their last game that isn't going to give them too many bonus points, right? So yeah, but even with the loss though, it wouldn't hurt you too bad. I mean, obviously you would drop.
We think they would drop to 5, right?
Yeah, which would take you out of the home game in the semifinal. Sorry, the second round. But still, they would still have one more chance with Magnolia in the last week. So,
well, the problem with Magnolia is you're not really quite getting.
Right.
There's not as much bonus points available for the Magnolia game as there is for the Oak Glen game. Essentially, when I look at these ratings here, like we said, Clay Battelle and Tug Valley tied for 3rd, and essentially Pendleton County, which is 5, is also tied for 3rd. I mean, they're literally decimal points behind both Clay Battelle and Tug Valley. So essentially, what is on the line for Clay Battelle is they closed the gap with Wahama and Wheeling Central. We don't think they can catch Wahama. Wahama can still catch Wheeling Central.
Right.
But Clay Battelle can't really – they'll close the gap, but they can't really jump up in ratings. But they would essentially, with a win against Oak Glen, would definitely pull away from Tug Valley and from Pendleton County. And for all intents and purposes, if they can beat Oak Glen on Friday, they're the number 3 team. There's really nothing else that anyone could do about that.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And then you got to think they win their last game, and then they'll just finish the season. That'd be 9-1 at that point, right? So yeah, they'll be holding firm to that 3 seed, and then enjoying a couple more weeks in Blacksville as they've been there for the last 3 already. They still have
Back
3
to
more
the
home games in
scheduling.
front of them, man. It's crazy.
So here we've got, on Friday night, we've got the Mohawk Bowl.
Mohawk Bowl.
All eyes, really, around the state of West Virginia might be on Monongalia County Friday night because all apologies to the Fairmont Senior Bridgeport game.
Yeah.
That is a huge, huge game in Class AAA. With all apologies to that game, Mon County, I want to say Monongalia, Mon County might have the 2 premier games Friday night.
Yeah, and like you said, all 3 teams that are in Mon County, top 5 right now, all playing for 2 home games in the playoffs. I mean, gosh, I don't know if there's anywhere else that's got this type of implications when it comes to these games this week at all. I mean,
dare we say the championship goes through Mon County? You want to win you a chip, you want to win you a championship, you got to go through one of these Mon County teams in the Quad A and Single A standings.
Well, the answer to that question would be yes, if University High tanks the game on Friday.
Oh, here we go with this. I thought we were done with the tanking.
No. Real quick, Michael, so can Clay Battelle pull it off on Friday?
It'll be, they'll have to play the best game of the season for sure, but, how else would you want to be coming off a game last week, right? You're coming off. You guys, they probably woke up on Monday. They probably wanted to go out and practice on Sunday. You know what I mean? Like, these guys were probably walking down the halls at school on Monday, just high-fiving each other.
Hey, there's
I'm
a
sure
little bit of extra swag in the
you.
step. I don't want to move too fast with. I got a tight shirt on. We're afraid the buttons might pop off and injure one of our eyes.
Yeah, but geez, they just.
Do you have a prediction? Are you going to predict it?
I haven't seen Oak Glen.
I'm going to predict it.
Yeah,
go ahead.
right
Hot
ahead.
take.
Be my guess.
Hot take. I'd say this is a lukewarm take. Clay Battelle, 28. Oak Glen, 14.
Wow.
I said it here. I believe in Coach LePeau. I believe in the Seabees. And I believe in the fans at Kroger.
Yeah,
if you could be positive weighing in that self-checkout.
And their defense is definitely what has been getting it done. The Clay Battelle defense is...
that miscellaneous stat of 5 turnovers and still winning a game, you got to have a short memory. You got to have... I have that just by being old. I don't know what I did. I don't even know what I had for breakfast. But having a quarterback with a short memory, let's go. Seabees, 28-14.
And by the way, if Kroger would like to sponsor the Extra Medium Sports Podcast, we are open to that idea.
Little gas card or something,
I plugged them way too much. My apologies for that.
It is now time to get back to the Mohawk Bowl of the Mohawk Bowl edition
Mohawk Bowl
of the Extra Medium Sports Podcast. We are very honored and welcome in former University High standout and WVU defensive lineman Andy Emery. Andy, were you defense in college, or did you move to offense?
I stayed in the blue shirts at WVU. We call that the defensive squad.
He's over there on the defensive side.
Matt?
Yeah, I didn't wear a white shirt like Matt, you know.
Hey, that helped, though, in those sunny days. And you know Andy's big cuz. Andy's big cuz. I'm little cuz. You want me to tell you the story about that?
Let's hear the story.
So many times, I don't know if Andy got this, but people would be like, oh, you play WVU football, all this, all that. Well, what's your last name? I'm like, Amory. And he goes, oh, I know you. You're Andy, right? I'm like, no, it's Matthew. And he's like, no, I'm pretty sure you're Andy. I'm like, I know who I am, but eventually I had to come up with a good story, and Andy got in on this, but we always said, you know, between our two families, the Emerys versus Amerys, we had a huge disagreement, and everything's falling apart. We don't know what last name is really the real one, but ultimately, I think the Emerys won. There's not many Amerys around here, but that was kind of a joke. We like to joke and mess around with people. Andy, it's so good to have you on here, dude.
Well, hey, thanks for having me. I would always tell people, Dustin, yeah, that's my cousin on my father's side. Telling you their name.
Hey, I wanted people to think I wanted people to think I was related to him, man. It's a cool guy.
That's right. But to answer your question, Justin, yeah, I was a linebacker at WVU and earned my keep on special teams.
Oh, they moved you to linebacker, right? Because you were defensive end mostly in high school, right?
I was.
You were the edge.
All other than one in Mohawk Bowl. Billy Kralavich tore his knee out. I got a crash course at linebacker. It was kind of too quick. Didn't work out too well, and then playoffs went back to DE.
I got you. So
college got me geared up.
So obviously it's Mohawk Bowl week. Matt's been dying to talk about this for like the last 8 weeks now.
Who, me? What?
He's unfiltered.
Oh.
He's unfiltered today. Andy, your take on the Mohawk Bowl. What was it like playing in the games? What was it like being part of that rivalry?
Well, it was quite an experience, Justin. It really was. We always schedule at the end of the season, which was very unique. So everything shook out. It kind of had a lot of hype. There was a lot of cool stuff about Mohawk Bowl week, including the week of. Where we're at right now for these kids. It's very, very awesome. There's lots of excitement. There's pep rallies. There's goodie bags. You know, there's the cheerleaders are just like throwing candy at you, which you would think would go against your nutrition, but you know, plenty of candy and swag bags.
Calories don't count on Mohawk Bowl week.
Right. Just a little bit more fuel for the tank.
A little bit more fuel for the tank. Get that extra pump for the guns, man.
So, Andy, I got to know, Mohawk Bowl, the Mohawk Bowl games, did you line when you were a defensive end, were you on Matt's side or were you on the opposite side?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to ask Matty Price all the back of my jersey because I wasn't in front of her.
Whoa, hey, wait, what is that? What is 24-14? What? No,
so I was 1 year behind you, I believe.
Right.
So I think maybe junior year I kind of went against you, and sophomore year a little bit.
Well, I remember playing against Andy, and I'm like, who is that? Because we. For my class, UHS, it was Scotty Jerko, Adam Cantoni, and Big Stu. And for your class, it was kind of like Magro was all the talk. And then I was like, who is this guy? That's Andy Emery. I was like, I got to talk to him. And not only as wonderful as a football player he is, I mean, this guy's like lightning. He should not be moving at that speed with the way he was built, but he did. And a couple times I might have be like, hey, Shane, look out. Do the good old lookout block. Andy's coming for you, but even a better person, football player.
Andy, you can back me up with this. What I remember the most was your junior year, because on that defensive line, you were on one side, Magro was on the other side, right?
That's correct. We both achieved multiple years at All-State honors, and that junior year when Magro was on the other side, we were a good case of booking. Where we just wrecked havoc.
Quarterbacks were in trouble.
Oh, yeah.
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 That you know,
And then,
the way you game plan for something like that is get the ice bath ready for the quarterback.
Right. The lookout block.
Look out!
Yeah.
Look out!
Right.
yeah, we would try to have parties in the backfield. We would try to meet up back there, high fives, just celebrate each other and get after it, and give the offense as much trouble as possible.
Big Cuh, I got a question for you here. So, with the Mohawk Bowl coming up, what is your best memory of the Mohawk Bowl as a play in any capacity? And share that, maybe not the best, but one of your favorite times.
Best Mohawk Bowl, honestly, I kind of remember like the Drew Jackson era.
Yep.
Phillips, Adam Cantoni. I think I might have been a freshman at that point, but it was electric. We were at Mountaineer Field. It was exciting. We absolutely opened up a can against MHS. And
Pain.
We took them to W. And that was a good one. And, I had minimal play in it, but it was a very exciting time.
Well, do you remember there was a pass that was thrown in that game? I think that was the first one at WVU. And that whole bottom area of Mountaineer Field was just packed. You couldn't even hear. You couldn't even hear the person standing across from you.
We had the whole lower section between our side and yours. I mean, it was a heck of a tournament.
Well, I'm very thankful that they couldn't hear me because of the swear words I was saying after you all won.
Yeah, it was good times, man. The best part, I think, of Mohawk Bowl week is the community involvement.
Yes.
Everybody kind of starts following along. Everybody dials in. Everybody's there for the kids and the coaches and the cheerleaders and the students.
And it really does take an army to run these programs and these organizations, and it just seems like each year they do a great job, but not only the administration, the football players, but the parents. The parents have really worked hard to get their kids to practice and do all that, and what a show to put on for the community.
And it is, and sometimes you see these parents who might have been an alma mater at the other school or on the they HS, and now their kids are Mohegan. So that kind of adds to the recipe a little bit with the temperature.
And that adds bragging rights to the household. So it's a big game.
Right.
Andrew, I wanted to ask you about a little funny memory here. Yeah, this is Michael. So you mentioned Justin talked about this last year, and he actually talked about this in our special Mohawk edition. He wrote a little bit about this, and you mentioned this when I talked to you. I think last week when I asked you to come on the show. There was a certain Mohawk Bowl that you played in.
It was actually a state playoff.
Okay, it was a state playoff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was a state playoff game against Morgantown that you played in, and something happened in that game right near the end that people still talk about today, and there's some discussions about. Can you kind of tell me about that?
Yeah, it was a heck of an anomaly. I'll tell you what. It was a very it was one very memorable, remarkable moment that I believe anybody UHS hasn't forgotten. Ironically enough, as I talk about this story as it comes up at gatherings, a lot of my MHS people seem to have forgotten this happened.
I never even heard of this.
Yeah, fill us in. Take us through your eyes.
Take us down memory lane here.
But so that was my senior year, and we that was the Mohawk Bowl I was talking about previously. We had some injuries. We tried to make some moves at the Mohawk Bowl. It didn't work out so well. We ended up falling to MHS in the Mohawk Bowl my senior year, but we had an amazing, outstanding team. We were well coached. We were well staffed, and we knew that game shouldn't have defined us the way it did. So we answered back in the playoffs, and we were coming hard. We got through the first opponent. We got onto the next week, the second round, I believe it was.
Yeah, second round game.
MHS, and it was at Tony Lewis Field, which, everybody said that was a home game for us at the time, but there's something about traveling to another school's team and playing at their school and calling it your own, so I'm glad that finally got corrected, and UHS has beautiful facilities now. I think that is amazing. So to kind of bring us back to that night, we we were playing with, what Coach Rod would say, a hard edge. We were playing with a chip on our shoulder, and we were coming after our friends on the other side of the line, because we were lucky enough to be friends with a lot of these guys, Rodner and Alton and all those MHS guys, but not during game time. So we were giving it to them good, and a complete different team that showed up at that Mohawk Bowl just a couple of weeks earlier. So here we are in the fourth quarter. Things are looking good. I don't know the exact scores, but I believe we were up 3 or 4, where one more score kind of would have sealed the game. It would have been a 2-possession game with minimal time left on the clock. We're driving. We're going down the field, against a great defense, just hammering them down. We hand the ball off. There's Action Jackson. Brady Jackson takes off. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. And right about as soon as he crosses the goal line, lights out at Tony Lewis Field. Darkness falls.
Pain,
the refs
man.
don't know what to do.
Well, what
They
had
ended up calling the play back to the line of scrimmage, and those old stadium lights took about 45 minutes to heat back up. By that time, we're a little cold because it's a cold night. Well, we ended up going maybe another play or two and having to punt it. Gave it to the other team. They had the momentum. I think Seth Fogarty might have had an amazing long reception, and we ended up losing the game because of this rare anomaly and this electrical circuit that just happened to go out.
the night the lights went out, right?
Time. So, yeah, I've got some theories on that night that,
We need to get the
whatever might
electrical
happen,
guy on the
but-
show, man.
Right. Well, okay.
Yeah,
So
I got a name.
now,
We'll keep him out for now.
Andy, I do have to clarify some things here. I had the chance to talk to Jeff Bailey earlier in the week. I asked him about that night. I said, Jeff, all these years later, did you ever get an official clarification on what happened? And obviously I was there that night. So at the point in the game in the fourth quarter that Andy's talking about, there used to be an old breaker box behind the end zone where the current locker room is. But back in those days, it was a concession stand, and there's a breaker box. The breaker box, it sparked. Sparks are flying out of that thing like it was like a Motley Crue concert.
Oh my
or something.
gosh.
And the lights went out. It was a blackout. Jeff Bailey tells me the official explanation given to him, and this might have been years later, but essentially the concession stand blew the breaker box.
What?
Gosh, what are they cooking in there?
Right.
It's the glizzies, man. They're cooking those glizzies.
Now, Andy probably doesn't accept that explanation, right?
Yeah.
I don't. I'm thinking distraction.
Right.
Cover.
I gotta go with Big Cut. I gotta go with Andy. I'm gonna say, you mean to tell me a hot dog with mustard set the gosh darn game?
Matt,
Now we're looking like the 49ers Ravens in the Super Bowl.
Matt, now this would have been a game. You would have been a freshman at WVU during this game,
yes.
right? Yeah.
I was. That's probably when I was crying myself to sleep with Coach Trickett yelling at me.
Now here's the thing, though.
That's right.
Now here's the thing, though, Andy. So, and I understand, and I've even talked to John Kelly over the years about that game, and he's a big believer in conspiracy theories that someone broke into that breaker box at just that time, and stuck a quarter in there or a paper clip,
Yeah, they had a committed groundsman over there. I'm just saying.
Are you on board? Are you on board with the conspiracy theory?
I'm, Justin. I was lucky enough to go through my college career and achieve great accolades with those teams that I got to play with. So I didn't get to hang up on that forever. But it's just the ironic timing. Of
it was
how
odd
everything
timing.
shook
Yes.
out. It's very, very
Just one of those things. Yeah.
And I have a gut, and I follow my gut feelings most of my life. So I'm staying where I'm at with my decision. that sure was an unfair shake of luck that we got that
It
night.
was unfortunate timing. Michael's got one here.
It was clear, though. It was clear that whoever won that game was going to win the state title.
Right.
So at least Morgantown, the city itself, got to bring home a state title. So you got to see the good, right?
Yeah, Andrew, I just wanted to touch on one last quick thing. This game, I don't know how much you know about the teams this year, but this game is a top 5 matchup right now in Class Quad A. Both of these teams are playing like championship ball right now. I know you played for some really good university teams against some really good Morgantown teams. I mean, what is it? I mean, obviously the rivalry is both teams could be 0-9 and they'd still want to play just as hard as if they were 9-0. But when you have two teams that are this high up in the rankings and have this much on the line, as a player, what does that do for you right before you hit the field?
Well, in all honesty, you got to try to keep that out of your mindset as much as possible. And as a younger kid, it's even harder, I imagine. You got to keep your eyes on the prize. That's the man right in front of you. The team, not the rankings, not the hype, not what could be, and not what was, but what is. And that's the game that is currently ahead of you and the people that are staying in your way. So the hype's nice because everybody wants the hype. You'd rather have the hype and the good records than the contrary.
Sure.
But if you can not cloud your cognition with the records and the rankings, then you're just going to be better off on the field.
Yeah.
But like I said, you'd rather have the hype. You'd rather have the rankings.
Yeah.
So it just adds to that climate of excitement for the community and for the schools.
Andy, hey, it's Justin again. I got a big question for you. I've heard some stories from Matt over the years. So once you moved on to WVU, I kind of want you to confirm Matt's stories here. Wouldn't Coach Rodriguez get on you guys about the Mohawk Bowl from time to time? Wouldn't he mention the Mohawk Bowl to you guys sometimes?
He would. It was that's the unique thing of having both schools in your college town of WVU. He was, he is and still is in tune with the community and the upcoming athletics and also the games and the performances. So you never know when he might hang something over your head or throw something out there from 2 or 3 years in your past.
Well, and that's subjective too, because I remember one distinctly. Something happened. They needed a third-string center, and I was your guy, and I could not snap the ball. He goes, "What do you think this is, the Mohawk Bowl?" Now, if you're on the defensive side, you're like, "Yeah, buddy, I'm winning." Now, my side, I'm thinking, "Well, didn't he know we won our senior year?" But it is the Mohawk Bowl.
They know your upbringing, that you may have wrestled, you may have played baseball. So they know that. For instance, in linebacker drills, Cassio would say, "Emery, I know you played baseball. Open your hips like you're stealing second."
Very cool.
So
yeah.
they know those things, which other colleges don't have that.
You know what Cassio used to tell me? Amory, you're going to get me fired. You keep playing like that.
I'll tell you what.
He's awesome.
I was a blue shirt. It was tough.
Man.
Andy, are you going to get a chance to head out there Friday night for the Mohawk Bowl, or are you going to be watching it from afar?
Well, that's kind of the wife's call. What are we going to do with the little one and Halloween and all that good stuff? But I sure do want to come out and support Coach Snyder and the guys, and maybe see you guys and give Matt a noogie.
Oh man! Hey,
No matter what, I hope we got bragging rights on Saturday.
Well, can we put you on the spot for a prediction? I'll predict one. If you want to predict, I'll predict.
Okay.
I'm predicting Morgantown wins this game 21-17.
It's crazy because I was going to go with the 21 number as well, but that's going to be UHS with MHS only getting 14.
Okay.
Very close. Very close.
So
good predictions,
if Big Cuh wins this bet, I'll shave my head. And for the viewers that don't know, there's no hairline left. This hairline is long gone. It's already shaved. So
I don't think I've ever seen you with hair.
I think like there was a picture from when I was 14 years old with her, but we can't.
Andy, hey, we want to thank you for the time, man. This was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
thank you
thanks a
so
lot,
much
man.
for coming on,
Awesome
man.
having
Yeah.
you, big cuz. It's an honor, man.
Yeah, absolutely, cuz. I love you. And
Love you, brother.
guys. Thanks for having me on here. You guys be safe, and let's have a good game Friday night. Everybody's safe, and UHS comes on top.
There we go.
Thanks,
Sounds
man.
good. That is Andy Emery, everyone, former University High All-State standout and WVU linebacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not someone
right.
you want to hit you in the head now. Andy will hit you now, boy.
Andy,
Good
thank
night.
Hey, as Coach Stu would say, man, you got to put your face in the fan, and I would do that.
Yes, sir.
Andy,
You got to bust some wedges.
Andy, thank you so much, man.
Hey, thank you, guys. Be safe.
All right, we are going to close out the Mohawk Bowl edition of the Extra Medium Sports Podcast with predictions. Matt, you gave one 21-17, right?
21-17, Morgantown all the way, baby.
You're picking Morgantown?
Yes,
on that
sir.
one?
Yes, sir. Believe it or not,
a
picking
good pick.
Morgantown.
Okay. Michael, what are your thoughts?
Oh, it's going to be an interesting game.
hey, and
this
you don't
is a
have to
tough one
impress me.
call. I think the weather might factor in a little
Okay.
bit. We have some rain coming. It's going to be cold. I think the high on Friday is only 50. It's going to, man, which is going to favor Morgantown a little bit. It's going to be tough. But yeah, I think Matt's prediction is really close. I'm going to go Morgantown 24. Actually, sorry, I'm going to backtrack. I'm going to say Morgantown 28. And I'm going to say University 21. I think Morgantown's going to get it by a
I like
touchdown.
that, legend.
I think the University High JV and freshman team will get beat
This here,
48 to nothing. I think Morgantown rolls 48-0 over the JV team and freshman team from you. No. In all seriousness now here's kind of how I look when you have a game like this. Here's how I begin with a basic premise.
okay.
Okay, University High's A game against Morgantown High's A game. Okay, now obviously it doesn't always work out that way, but if University High plays a good game, Morgantown High plays a good game, what happens in that scenario? In that scenario, I believe University High not only has a chance to be in the game, I think they win the game. Now, there's some factors here real quick. I think University High's defense can handle Morgantown High's running game when the ball is handed off.
Right.
When it is Maddox Twig running, whether it's quarterback power, quarterback counter, or just a scramble,
Yeah.
that's the part University High is going to struggle with.
Yep.
On the flip side, Morgantown High's defense is going to struggle to cover those. I mean, they're just not going to be able to cover
just
those
too many.
guys. Hayden George has a really great chance of cementing the Randy Moss receiver of the year in this game.
Yeah.
Harrison Helbig has a really big chance to really kind of show that he might be one of the dominant quarterbacks in the state.
Yep.
You throw those two things together, I think it's a very, very close game. The difference now, the X factor, is it's probably not going to be A game versus A game. University High turns the ball over a lot.
Yeah.
They turned the ball over 5 times in their loss to Butler. They turned the ball over how many times against Wheeling Park? 3?
Yeah, multiple.
Yeah, 3 or 4 times.
And they always do it at bad times.
Yeah. University High turns the ball over a lot. I think they're going to have some turnovers, and that's probably what gets Morgantown High the win. I'm going to say 28-17.
You, and you're
Morgantown
pick,
High.
oh, hey, I love it.
Morgantown
Yeah,
High.
I think that's good too.
I love it. I love the way you all think.
Yeah.
But I also think University High goes out there with their JV team, freshman team. Eric Snyder, Coach Snyder, I'm giving you, hey, go with the conspiracy
Go with the
theory.
conspiracy.
Because you would be in a much better position if Morgantown High ends up as number 1 in the state. That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, like Justin said, I mean, with Twig's got the ball in his hands and he gets loose, that's going to be a huge thing in this game. And, you know, if the weather's bad, if the ball's wet, if it's cold, you know, the weather's been pretty favorable for football as far as this whole season. I mean, I may have been to one game that had rain in it in 9 weeks so far. So can UHS throw the ball effectively? If not, you know, are they going to have to throw a lot of screens, a lot of checkdowns? Morgantown has some athletes on defense at linebacker and all that. You know, they might be able to handle a shorter passing game. But, you know, like Justin said, UHS just – they have so many options. If this person's shut down, you can go here. If they're not working here, you can go over here.
Yeah.
And another thing about UHS is how they've come on recently.
Yes.
Obviously Hayden George is the talk of the town right now. The kid's up to over 1,000 yards receiving and 74 catches. But at the same time, they have 2 other receivers that each have 6 touchdowns. Hayden George has 8. And they have 2 other receivers that will both probably be over 500 yards receiving. So you have an 1,000-yard receiver. You have 2 500 yards receivers. I mean, pick your poison. Where do you want to go?
That's even setting up a battle in the trenches. Is the Morgantown High edge going to be able to get to?
Well, I don't think Morgantown High can cover those guys.
Gotcha.
I mean, not
just too
every
many.
single. I mean,
Yeah.
not every single play. The real question will be is can University High block Morgantown
Yes.
High's
Right.
front guy?
Yes.
Right.
Can Helbig get time to throw? That'll be the big
We
question.
want to make UHS's quarterback uncomfortable.
Yeah, and we know Kaniska is a great runner, obviously, but he doesn't have that quick of a step as Kaler did. A little bit of a speed guy. So Kaniska really needs a hole to get through. He needs some good blocking, and if Morgantown's penetration is anything above average, it's going to be tough.
And those Morgantown boys on the D line, man, they got some big dogs.
Oh yeah, you got
now.
Zavon Shipman, you got Chase Travis in the middle, man.
And once the weather starts turning like this, it's our big dog season.
Yeah.
What was that? What?
That was supposed to be a bark, but it's big dog season,
All right.
baby. It's time for the big dogs to come out.
We are way over budget right now. We are way past our time. That is all the time we have for today. We certainly hope you enjoyed our special Mohawk Bowl edition of the Extra Medium Sports Podcast, our insight into what is a major week of high school football coming up. We want to thank Andy Emery and John Bowers from Morgantown High and University High for sharing their thoughts of Mohawk Bowls past and recent past and past. They were fantastic. Matt, what did you think today?
I thought today was awesome. It was a wonderful show. It was an honor having everybody.
And you dropped no F-bombs.
No F-bombs.
So we made it through.
Mohawk Bowl, baby.
Matt, take us home.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the Extra Medium Sports Podcast, and a special thanks to the Erickson Alumni Center for supporting the show. Select a wedding venue where you can host the perfect ceremony and reception while providing your guests with a caring and comfortable environment. Lastly, this is the Extra Medium Podcast, special Mohawk Bowl edition, where the couches are safe but the takes are on fire. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see y'all next week.